Hey! APA Retirement Home Season 1, Week number 3. We are taking on Bandit Caterpie, coach of the Carolina Caterpies, hoping to keep our undefeated record intact. So if you guys are excited for today's Pokemon Showdown Draft League battle, make sure to like button and subscribe button down below. Did you guys know that almost 60% now of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed? That's crazy to me. We are on the road to 400 by Scarlet and Violet, or at least 500 by the end of the year. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys would hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of competitive Pokemon content and would really appreciate your support. So that's my seller for the day. Here we are for APA Retirement Home Week number 3. We are taking on Bandit Caterpie. Like I said, Corey is a very solid player, someone who is not as retired as like everyone else is. I know Corey's been dipping in and out every once in a while for draft in Gen 8, so Corey still kind of knows what's up. So definitely have a lot on our plate here. He also has a very threatening team. It looks very odd on paper, but he has some very threatening mons. We did pick up a big dub last week against Hugo. So if you guys haven't checked that out, it should be popping up in the right-hand corner of your screen, or just go check it out on the channel. It's a pretty cool video. So let's get into Corey's team here. Then we'll run over my team, and then we'll run the battle, and then you guys can go home. Alright, so Corey has a pretty cool draft, some really cool mons. He has the Landorus, Therian, Cinderace, Grimmsnarl, Meloetta, Vileplume, Togedemaru, Mega Slowbro, Scizor, Kommo-o, Tentacruel, and Trevenant. Our team, if you guys do not remember, as always, is the Zamazenta Crown, Slowbro, Heracross, Decidueye, Clefairy, Regigigas, Mega Charizard X, Zapdos, Greninja, Stunfisk, and Muck. So, looking at our team for this week, Corey does not deal with Gren very well, so that was the first mon I put on the team, is a Choice Specs Greninja. We are Scald, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and Spikes, because I really expect him to just go into Tentacruel. I think he's going to be very Spadef Tentacruel to check Greninja. That's just the one thing that can really take hits reliably from Greninja. So I like the idea of getting a Spike up as the Tentacruel comes in, because then it forces him to spin. That gives me free Zapdos, and then Zapdos forces a kill, because Zapdos and Gren here, hand in pair, do really, really well. So speaking of is our Zapdos, we have an offensive Zapdos this week, Heavy Duty Boots Static with Thunderbolt, Hurricane, Heat Wave, and Roost. We have enough speed to outspeed Landorus. We have enough HP to take one Adamant Stone Edge from Scarf Landorus. And we just overall do a shit ton of damage with the remaining bulk, or remaining offense investment. Offensive Zapdos goes crazy here. Flying Electric does super well into Corey's team. He really doesn't have great resists to those. And the things that don't want to take a Heat Wave, like Scizor can take one, but just gets blown away by Heat Wave. And I thought there was something else there. Togepi was the other thing that just gets blown back by Heat Wave. Other than that, it really just kills almost everything on Corey's team. So offensive Zapdos paired with Greninja can really do a lot of work here. Building on a defensive backbone of this team, we have a physically defensive Slowbro that kind of just is a one-all check to everything. Checks Landorus, checks Cinderace, checks Kommo-o. Really just a fat Slowbro. Rocky Helmet, Regenerator with Scald, Psychic, Slack Off, and Toxic. Have a little bit more speed than usual in our Slowbro, just to outspeed his Slowbro. Not that I can beat his Slowbro 1v1, but I do have Toxic on my Slowbro. I was a little bit scared of like a sub Mega Slowbro, because that mon could actually be really annoying to deal with some of my more passive mons like Slowbro myself. If he was like a sub Calm Mind Slowbro, I thought that could be really annoying because my water resists aren't the greatest. So I thought he could be like sub Calm Mind with Mono Scald. So I want it to be a little bit faster, just get a Toxic off. So that way, at least if he was something like that, we get the Toxic off and I don't have to worry about it as much. Like I said, this is my ground resist. I don't actually believe in ground resists. I've learned in the last couple gens, or in the last couple leagues I've been in, I don't draft ground resist because I've learned most grass types suck. Most of them suck or lose to ground types anyway, especially the one with fucking U-turn. So I've stopped believing in ground resist. They're not real. It's not a real concept. Fuck you. So we draft Slowbro instead. Next up, we have a Charizard X, and contrary to popular belief, we're defensive Charizard again. Actually, we're not. We're actually very offensive Charizard this week. I'm sorry. I lied to you guys. We are Flare Blitz, Toxic, Roost, and Dragon Dance Charizard. We have enough speed for the Landorus. We are max HP, and we got a little bit of spread that does something. I don't remember exactly what my spread does, but I'm not getting too deep into my spreads. So basically, we're Toxic Charizard because it debts me more in the long run. Mono Flare Blitz. Charizard does look really good into his team. Like, obviously, he has the Mega Slowbro. He's Landorus with Intimidate. He has Tentacruel that can chew a hit. And, you know, he has annoying things for it. But Charizard does look very, very good because a lot of his things do take a lot from +1 Flare Blitz. And Toxicking the Slowbro is kind of my main priority. If I'm Dragon Dance with Thunder Punch, it really bounces off Slowbro. Like, he can take... Like, I can get the +2, and then I can, like, 2-hit KO physically defensive Slowbro. But if I'm getting a +2, then he's setting up Calm Minds, and then if he sets up Calm Minds, he actually 2-hit KOs me because Slowbro hits way too hard. with Calm Mind Boost, so I couldn't really win that 1v1 reliably, so I would rather get the Toxic off on Slowbro, guarantee the Slowbro is crippled in that front, and then if I Dragon Dance, I do a solid like 25-ish to Mega Bro at +1, and then he's forced to recover, but take Toxic damage and take Flare Blitz, and it's easier for me overall and over time to win that way, because I don't need the coverage move there, because Flare Blitz really does just run through his team. Tentacruel barely resists fire. Komodo getting a Toxic off is also more important to stop setup, and if it is defensive, then I don't beat it anyways, so I have Slowbro and things like that to beat Komodo. Charizard doesn't need to beat everybody. He is kind of more of a team player, but can win the game on his own if I need him to. Next up, we have a Flame Orb Heracross. Guts Heracross again. This mon's awesome. A lot of very bulky passive teams we've been encountering in these first few weeks. So Heracross just gets to go kind of crazy on them with Mega Horn, Close Combat, Knockoff, and Brick Break. Brick Break is for that Grimmsnarl, setting up spikes because he is annoying. I'm max speed to speed type Komodo, just so I punish Komodo if it tries to set up in my face. I didn't want to play around with speed creeps because, you know, Adamant didn't get me anywhere, and I couldn't really run Adamant because I needed speed for other things. So basically, just go max speed. Didn't need the extra bulk. Really like Brick Break for things here, screens, because they were really annoying for my team if they did go up. I do have Zama, which punishes Grimmsnarl, but he had really good Zama checks. I actually debated leaving Zama on the bench here because he had a lot of really good Zama checks, so I wasn't too confident in like my ability to kill Grimmsnarl reliably without dealing with like a whole bunch of other shit. So but he is here. You guys do see him, but Heracross I thought was just the better breaker of the two. And then we have our Zama, of course, who was the last minute switch. I actually did have Clefairy on this team for a while to check Meloetta, but I decided to switch back to Zama because it checks Meloetta just fine and offensively does a little bit better than Clefairy does, who gives up a lot of momentum against things like Scizor and Cinderace. Close Combat, Behemoth Bash, Wild Charge, and Ice Fang. Like I said last week, it's Zama. It's going to do the same thing every week. It's just here to click buttons and be fast and not die. So yeah, that's our squad this weekend's core. You guys can see he brought the Mega Slowbro, the Landorus Therian, the Cinderace, the Meloetta, the Scizor, and the Tentacruel. I leave with Slowbro because I'm expecting him to lead with Landorus and Cinderace. I expect Landorus is potentially going to be Scarfed. It could be just more of an offensive Landorus if it does come out here, but I do think Scarf Landorus makes a lot of sense to kind of just punish my team, outspeed things like Gren and Zapdos. Could also see a Cinderace lead, as it is faster than everything except Gren, and I didn't think he'd be too worried about Gren capping Tentacruel in the back, so I decided to leave with Slowbro to try and catch that and keep momentum up early. But he is going to leave with Scizor, which is the one lead that I was really nervous about, but I didn't think he would lead Scizor. I was actually pretty confident he wasn't even going to bring Scizor. I felt it had a really shit matchup here, but I'm just going to go get my Charizard. I really debated going Zama here, but I wanted to go Charizard because it forced more progress, because I could go... Like, I thought of it two ways. I could go Zama and it covers any single play because he's not clicking Superpower here. But then Zama brings in Slowbro or Landorus or Tentacruel or even this thing just staying in and forces just a weird like odd position where no button is safe to click. Whereas if I go into Charizard that also takes any hit from Scizor just fine, I can Mega Evolve, fire for Toxic on the incoming Slowbros. It's the only thing that can come into Charizard safely, and then get the Toxic on Slowbro. That's a huge worry off for me throughout the entire game, and getting that off early is really nice for me. So I opt to go that route. He's going to make the really good play and click Toxic here turn 1, which covered me both staying in and going Zard. If I went Zama like my gut told me to, then I would have covered the Toxic, but I don't regret that play. I still stand by it. Because Zama really just put it in a weird spot, because it didn't kill Scizor, it didn't kill anything coming in, so I'd rather just get the progress here with Charizard, because I can Mega Evolve and click Toxic. He's actually, or I'm going to make the switch out here, expecting his Slowbro, because he's obviously not going to sack his Scizor to Charizard, so I'm going to make the double on the Zapdos expecting Slowbro. I catch Landorus, but this is fine because I can fire off a free Hurricane, and that does 73%. So this is an offensive Landorus. This is like no bulk Lando. If it is, it's like a little bit of HP. I think there's just like a little bit in there. But like that did so much. And he's going to go for the knockoff and knock off my boots, which I'm not concerned about at all. I knew I took a Stone Edge from full. Unless he was banded. And if he was banded, then that was good information to have. But banded in my team seemed very, very risky, considering I have Zama that shoots any hit that's not Earthquake, and I have a bunch of Earthquake resists. So, or not resists, immunities. So, I'm going to fire for another Hurricane here. I think I click Heat Wave here, actually, because minimum roll is 33 based on the damage from the Hurricane. So, I think I click Heat Wave here. Do I click Heat Wave? I think I click Heat Wave. Yeah, I click Heat Wave as he goes into Tentacruel. Insane play. But I'm just going to click T-Bolt now, because Tentacruel can't kill me, and I can roost up on Tentacruel. He's going to set up T-Spikes. Kind of annoying, kind of not. I have Heracross, which I felt deterred T-Spikes enough, but whatever. I deter him from getting up a second layer of T-Spikes, which is more annoying for my team. Regular poison it's just annoying. It's not too big of a deal. It's just annoying. So, but Heracross, we can take that chip anyways. This is immune. Charizard is already toxic. This thing's immune. Slowbro is gonna take toxic spikes, but whatever. It's actually better than getting regular toxic, and then Gren's not gonna be in for a long time, so I'm not too concerned about toxic spikes coming up. I'm just gonna fire for another T-Bolt here, or no, I'm gonna roost first because I thought he could go Landorus here, trying to be cheeky with T-Bolts, and it covered him going into Landorus, keeping me at full. And if he just attacked me, it's gonna bounce. As you guys do see, it's gonna Ice Beam, does no type of damage, and I'm just gonna T-Bolt again. If he makes a Landorus switch, it doesn't get him anywhere, so he's gonna sack off the Tentacruel and bring in his Meloetta. This is where I realized that Meloetta hits a lot harder than I thought it does, but it has to click one of its stabs here, either Hyper Voice or Psychic, so I can go to my Zama for free and really chew a hit here. As that is going to bounce, does 15. Psychic was going to do a little bit more, but this Meloetta is going to be a problem, as you guys see down the line. I believe I fire off Crunch here? Do I fire off a Crunch? I think I fire off a Crunch. Nope, I'm going to make the double on the Zapdos again. I wanted to see... Oh, I made the Zapdos pivot because if he was not choiced, he was going to click Focus Blast there, knowing that Zama doesn't actually Oko Meloetta from full. If he has he can EV to live one Zama CC from full. So if he wasn't Specs or Scarfed, he was going to click Focus Blast there. So Zapdos covered that play, and I got to see if he was choiced or not. It also covered his switch-ins to Zama being either Landorus or Slowbro, netting me another kill, which it does catch the Slowbro. He's going to go Landorus on the Thunderbolt. I have no reason to ever predict. We wanted to click Hurricane, but I have no reason to predict if he tries to catch me overplaying. I'm in such a good position with Zapdos. I have no reason to ever overplay. So I'm just going to click T-Bolt. He's going to bring in the Landorus. I'm going to click Hurricane. I'm going to land. Could have clicked Heat Wave as it was a roll, but it was like a 43% chance to kill. Hurricane guaranteed killed, and Stone Edge, but he wasn't hitting Stone Edge, I've decided. I just decided I was hitting Hurricane, so. He goes back into Meloetta. This thing is really annoying. I'm going to leave Zapdos in for a turn just to see if this thing is Scarfed. I want to find out. I know I can take one just fine. I also thought he might overpredict and click Focus Blast. Didn't think it was a real play, but if he did click it, that covered that play well. But he's going to reveal to be Scarfed here as I roost off that Hyper Voice damage. Now I know, now I have that information that whatever he clicks, he's locked into. So I'm just going to go back to my Zama, as he's going to make a good pivot into his Cinderace, but I'm not overly concerned here. I think this is the turn. Yeah, I take the Pyro Ball and I get burned here. Didn't know that Pyro Ball burns, forgot about that. Not cool on that front, but I was fine taking this damage from Cinderace here, because killing Cinderace opened up Slowbro to be a solid Meloetta check. Also, I just had a lot of things that took one from Meloetta, I could kill it back, so I really wasn't too concerned about preserving health. On this, it also covered a U-turn aggressive play on the Slowbro, because if he U-turns from Slowbro, he goes into Scizor, and then Scizor could just keep U-turning, and I could kind of get stuck in the Vortex for a little bit, and I was trying to avoid that, but I do get punished as I get burned here, and I'm going to CC, and I get a crit back, so it kind of evens out, because it kind of replicates the damage I would have gotten if I didn't get burned, but it still would have done more, so unlucky, but it is what it is. We got hacks for hacks, so... I believe I'm going to keep my Zama alive, though, just for now, because I can still take a Hyper Voice or two from the Meloetta. I'm going to go into my Charizard, and I'm like, why does it do so much? And then I realized that I'm still Baby Charizard, and Megazard takes nothing. But Baby Zard is fine, because I can just Mega Evolve here and Roost. He goes into Slowbro, but I really don't care, as I can just Toxic the Slowbro here. If he wants to try and pivot into Scizor, that's not a real play that people make. It's just not. So I get a free Toxic off here, as he is going to get me the Toxic on the Slowbro. He's going to opt to stay pre-Mega and just click Psychic, as that does so much. And that's not offensive. That's like a little bit of investment, but like not a lot. That's just Slowbro. Jesus Christ. Fuck this thing. As I think I'm going to switch out here, I can still take a Powerball from the Cinderace, and I go into Gren expecting, just because it does anything that Slowbro wants to do. As he makes this switch into Meloetta, I'm going to sack my Zama here, because this thing is a problem. He's going to Focus Blast, which, like, fine, he Focus Blasted, but look at how many fighting resists I have. I have 3 super free fighting resists, and I get to bring in my Guts Heracross, and I don't even have to waste a turn. This is why I didn't agree with the T-Spike bring against the Heracross, because now I don't have to waste a turn with my non-Guts boost. I get to claim a kill here. You are sacking a Pokemon to Heracross. There's nothing you can do about it. So I'm going to click Knock Off, and that puts Scizor perfectly in a range of a close combat. Slowbro, you're just gonna get attacked next turn. So there goes Scizor. He was Aqua Berry Scizor, and I'm pretty sure that still dies through Charizard. So, you know, Scizor things. And now Guts Heracross coming just to get to exist. In comes this stupid thing again. As I think I sack off Charizard here. Yeah, I sack off Charizard is just least valuable. Cinderace and this are both faster, and Slowbro is doing way too much damage. But he clicked Hyper Voice. I know that Heracross can just barely live a Hyper Voice from here. I think it takes like 60%, so I can take Hyper Voice into Poison Turn. So I can force another kill here. I can force another kill. If he gives me the Meloetta, I think I just win the game. If he gives me the Cinderace, which was the correct sack, then that's just a more annoying Mon out of the way. He does give me the Cinderace as it goes down to the close combat, and then in comes the Meloetta once again, as I believe I sack off Heracross here. Sack off Heracross because I saw my endgame from here. This turn took me a couple minutes, but I saw my endgame from here. If he clicked either Stab, I could go into Gren. I can go into Gren. Gren lives any one hit guaranteed from the Meloetta and put him in checkmate, because if he lets me get Dark Pulse, this thing is like base 130 Spadef. So if Meloetta takes the Dark Pulse, then it dies to Zapdos. Zapdos wins the game. If he tries to go into Slowbro to change his move, then I kill Slowbro. He brings it back in. He either locks in a Hyper Voice, which doesn't kill Greninja, and then dies to Zapdos anyways, or he locks in a Focus Blast, which then I can stall with his between Zapdos and Slowbro and do just fine. So I opt to sack Heracross here to get the free switch into Greninja and force the checkmate position. He is going to go for the Hyper Voice. I'm going to get the Specs Dark Pulse off. That is Specs Dark Pulse. That did 82%. This thing is scarfed, not Assault Vest, and it's not even that bulky. But it's just base 130 Spadef or some shit. Like, this thing is gross, so let Greninja go down just to get enough damage for Zapdos. He's going to kill me off, give Meloetta one more kill for the road, and now I can send in my Zapdos and finish off the game, as he's going to Hyper Voice, does a lot, Thunderbolt, and get rid of Meloetta. And then here, I play a little bit defensively. I'm going to Roost just to kind of rack up Toxic damage in case this thing was Calm Mind. I'm going to Roost one more time here, I believe. Yeah, I Roost one more time. I just don't want to lose to the Slowbro, and I want to win this game 2-0 just to keep differential. If I can keep differential, I want to, just as much as I can, because, you know, I don't win games very big. So I'm trying to keep as much differential as I can. I'm not punished for doing so. So I'm just going to send in Slowbro and kind of just let him take Toxic Chip, as he can't beat my Slowbro either. And then I'm just going to click Slack Off, as Slowbro can't kill my Slowbro, and then let him die off to the poison damage. And that is going to be a 2-0 victory against Corey and the Carolina Caterpies. So yeah, a little bit of a stally endgame, but a lot of Meloetta coming in and claiming kills. Very much underestimated that Mon. Kind of regret taking Clefairy off of the build, because I had a Meloetta check, but then I took it off for Zama, which ended up being the Meloetta check anyways. But it is what it is. We played around it properly, and we saw our endgame with the Gren and Zapdos there. So really happy with the team, really happy with how I played this one. And yeah, so if you guys did enjoy today's Pokemon Showdown Draft League battle, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button down below. On the left-hand side will be a YouTube video recommended for you from our channel, and on the right-hand side will be the rest of our APA retirement playlist if you guys haven't checked it out already. So with that, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Kurt, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out. Bye.